Hello friends, welcome back to Raju Notes channel, the weekly current affairs updates. Today we will do the current affairs from 4th December to 11th December 2021. Though a majority of events have been conducted in this week, the most prominent one or the update was the India's first CDS, General Bipin Rawat, lost his life in a very unfortunate air crash which happened in Tamil Nadu. We pay our regards to him and start this weekend's updates. If you are new to my channel, kindly subscribe to it and stay updated in a very crisp manner as to what happened in the world within this week. And by pressing that bell icon, you get intimation whenever I upload a new video. Okay, so let's quickly go on to what are the updates for this week. The Indian Navy has successfully fired a naval version of BrahMos missile, and this was fired from the Rajput class destroyer INS Ranvijay on 1st of December 2020. The missile performed very complex maneuvers and hit the designated target ship in Bay of Bengal. We all know that BrahMos is a jointly developed mission by both DRDO and NPOM of Russia. As part of Xi Jinping's signature Belt and Road Initiative, which we are all aware of, China has finally made a rail line connecting China with Laos, and it connects the Chinese city of Kunming with the Laotian capital of Vientiane. And this is a 1,000 kilometers long stretch, and it has been constructed with a cost of 6 billion. Well, takeaway point, China is rapidly developing its infrastructure so as to create a land route, basically its old Silk Route, for trade and commerce, and thereafter lessening its dependence on the sea route for its trade and other things. We all know that there has been tensions over Ukraine, and we all know that there were tensions because the Russian troops were building up on the Ukrainian border, and Ukraine had accused Russia of planning an invasion. And Russia has done this basically to use this as a pressure on US to guarantee that Ukraine will not be admitted to the NATO military alliance. So over this, there has been tensions across this region for a long time, and President Biden and President Putin are likely to talk next week amongst this tensions going over Ukraine. As a thing, you should know that Russia had annexed Crimea and Ukraine in 2014. So Ukraine was now bending towards the US, and so the action from Russia. As of now, this doesn't seem to be a flare-up point, but a point just to note. The NASA is slated to launch a laser communications relay demonstration, that is LCRD, from the Cape Canaveral station in Florida on December 5th. The space agency will test the optical communication system aimed at speeding up the space communications. Well, as of now, the space communications does take some time for a communication to be spent from the Earth station into the space, into probably a space station. But with the new technology, that is the laser communication relay demonstration, this technology, it will allow almost about 10 to 100 times more data transmission back to Earth. And so what are the advantages of this? Well, all our space missions, let it be communication with this international spacecraft or with communications with the objects like Chandrayaan, or communication with the objects or satellites which are going as far as Jupiter and sending us the data back, the years which it used to take to send the data back will now be at a faster pace. India and Russia have signed joint venture deal to manufacture about 6 lakh Kalashnikov AK-203 assault rifles. This we had discussed long back. This was an update coming in that now these rifles will be manufactured at the Korva weapons factory in Amethi, UP, and this rifle will be the new standard firearm for the Army infantry units, and this will replace the INSAS rifles which are presently held by the Army. Now, why Amethi? I think it is because of the projections probably which has to be shown by the government, and I think the Smriti Irani's constituency. So maybe a step ahead for the polls, but overall a good thing that the entire transfer of technology is also happening as far as this weapon is concerned. So anything in future, we should be able to handle it ourselves. Again, update coming on onto our defense sector. The Indian Navy and the DRDO both combinedly had demonstrated a successful flight test of the vertical launch short range surface to air missile. And what is so special about this? Well, when you have the capabilities of launching a vertical short range missiles from a variety of platforms, these are primarily useful when you have to deploy this on ships, naval ships. So it is suitable for this, and there are many reasons why the vertical launch missiles are suitable for Navy. We all should know that. So it's a good step. Probably once this tests are over, we will come to know as to what the name will they give to this missile system and how and they will be employed. As of now, we are dependent on the Barak missile systems, which we have taken from the Israelis, and also the BrahMos, which is a joint venture between the India and Russia. A new term which one should be aware of is this Earth's black box. Well, Earth's black box, if you recollect, in almost a year back, we had discussed a point of the permafrost chambers, which was used in Antarctica to preserve almost 1 million bytes, 1 million megabytes of data of the Earth being stored for some doomsday. It is a similar thing here. It is a bus-sized steel box, which and it will be built in Australia. And the purpose of this will be to record data sets, measurements, and interactions relating to the Earth's health. This Earth black box will have about a 3-inch thick steel wall and storage drives inside the storage, which can live or which can have the capability to store the data for about 50 years. Well, the purpose of this device is to provide an account for the events that led to the climate crisis. We are presently in that situation wherein you see the glaciers melting or many climatic changes happening. Probably this will be a kind of a database for all such things in maybe in after 50 years. And the recordings of the present has already started beginning, and since it has started in November Scope 26 summit, which had happened recently. Well, an additional point, after about 5 days of happening, Russia and US now coming face to face with each other, and it was speculated that Joe Biden will warn the Russian President Vladimir Putin of toughest sanctions if Russia invades Ukraine. And well, but nothing of this sort has come in. The tensions are high, but things are still boiling, but nothing has happened as of now, and we hope it continues to stay so. Well, we all are aware as to the Ashes series is going on as in the cricket in the world of sports. Many people don't know as to why this test series is called as Ashes. Just for the info that when England was beaten for the first time by Australia in 1882 in their home ground, there was an English newspaper in England which actually featured a mock obituary of the English cricket, saying that the English cricket has died at the Oval on 29th August 1882. And it went on saying that the body will be taken and the ashes will be body will be cremated and the ashes will be taken to Australia. Well, this obituary, which was mocking, the England captain then said that we will, he said that we will regain those ashes back. And since that day, it was the test series is called between England and Australia as the Ashes. Just and the Ashes are presently running. So just as a info. Like India has put a fencing on with the Pakistan long back, Israelis have completed their fencing along with the Gaza border, which will be called as Iron Wall. Well, this is nothing like what India has done. What Israeli has done is a completion of a sensor-equipped underground wall along the Gaza Strip aimed to preventing Hamas militants from entering the country. Well, this is a 65-kilometer long wall, and it is so sophisticated that it has got hundreds of cameras, radars, command centers, control rooms, and this can detect any kind of intrusion happening at this border. Well, this iron wall will be a barrier between the terrorist organization and the residents of the Israeli south. The sad news coming in by mid of this week that very unfortunate. India really woke up to a day when we heard many news speculations happening, and then finally confirmation coming in, wherein the chief of the defense staff, General Bipin Rawat, his wife Madhulika Rawat, and 11 other soldiers, including the Army and Air Force, died in a helicopter crash in Tamil Nadu. The sole survivor of this crash, Group Captain Varun Singh Shaurya Chakra, is presently battling his life at a hospital. Group Captain Varun was the same officer who had steered the latest Tejas aircraft from a sure shot crash, and he was awarded Shaurya Chakra for it. But it felt really bad to hear all this, and the world also has started pouring in the mourning messages for him. It's a real unfortunate incident, and this is no way to lose the country's chief of defense staff. Rather, anybody, as a matter of fact, all the rest, even the soldiers. Very, very unfortunate incident. Well, coming back, the RBI on Wednesday said that it will launch a UPI-based payment product for the feature phones. That is, non-smartphones will also be able to utilize the UPI-based payments, wherein if you have an UPI address, you just type in that UPI address from your normal phone, not the smartphone, a feature phone, and it will the process of using this money transfer can be used. Although this feature is still there in the present phones, wherein you have to dial a code of *99#, and thereafter you can do the money transfer. But somehow this *99# did not take over. It is because of some reasons, but if you have realized that we have discussed the sandbox programs in our previous episodes, probably it is that very same feature. Now it has come up with the NUUP, that is National Unified USSD Platform. A good news, it will improve and increase the digital transactions happening across the country. After a very long and a controversial fight, finally the farmers have ended their protest against the formula, and which were repealed last week, and when the government has agreed to their demands, the farmers have already started vacating the Delhi border from today, and this happened after the Modi government had issued out a formal letter stating that it will withdraw the bills and it will withdraw the cases against the farmers who were sitting on protests, and also it will reconsider the MSP issue. So finally the farmers have moved out from their locations, and hopefully things should settle down in some case. What is the ulterior motive? Only maybe time can tell us. The Union Minister Jitendra Singh on Thursday said that India will launch 2 unmanned missions accompanied with robots before human space flight program Gaganyaan by end of 2022. Well, he said the Venus mission is also planned for 2022, while the solar mission has been planned for 22-23. Well, we all know that these ambitious projects were supposed to be carried out by this year already, but because of the COVID situation, the programs have been delayed. The robot which will be put into the space will be called as Vayumitra. The 21-year-old Harnaz Sandhu will be representing India in the Miss Universe 2021 contest, and Miss Sandhu hails from Chandigarh and who pursues her masters in the public administration and also a movie actress. She was crowned Miss India Punjab in 2019 and also Miss Diva in 2020-21 pageants. Let's see if she can bring some laurels to the country. There were a lot of speculations on US putting sanctions on Iran because of its nuclear programs, and India was onto the receiving end because we have a lot of investments in Iran, and our major investment or the major strategic importance was that of the Chabahar port, which the government of India was closely monitoring and helping to set up. So with the US sanctions coming heavily onto Iran, we had a lot of speculations onto that, but the External Affairs Minister, Mr. S. Jaishankar, had told the Lok Sabha that the US sanctions on Iran will not have any effect on India's Chabahar project. So this is a respite coming into it, and we know that China is trying hard to take this project from India by giving out a lot of financial aid or some kind of aid or a loan to Iran. So it is in India's interest that we hold on to this particular port, because this is where you can put pressure onto China. And we all know that India and Iran had signed this port agreement in 2016. Well, there was a virtual summit for democracy which was hosted by US President Joe Biden, and he had invited all the democracies of this world. 2-3 points to note here. Of all this, the countries which should not participate as expected was China, but a surprise move factor coming in, Pakistan also has not participated in this. That leaves to speculation whether Pakistan does not consider itself democracy, or the boss of Pakistan, China, has clearly arm twisted it and said that you will not participate, and Pakistan has no other option but to skip out from it. But all these being at one side, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi made a very, very relevant point during this meet when he was virtually speaking onto this summit. He said that in the present scenario, the social media is a threat to democracy, and he says that out of the 6 tech giants of social media, 5 of them are US based. Let you take YouTube, you take Twitter, you take Facebook, you took WhatsApp, all these are US based. So he kind of indicated that if the US government is doing anything on these companies which are virtually ruling the world and have the capability and have also demonstrated that they can influence the democratic elections, that we have seen very clearly in US also, we have seen it in Bangladesh, we have seen it in many other countries, especially in the African nations. So it's a very relevant point. How did the world react to this? That we'll have to wait and see. But yes, a relevant point has been made. And in the same breath, the Prime Minister also had touched upon the cryptocurrency, which says that this currency is there to undermine the democracy. Well, how much the world takes to it is not known, but yes, your voice is being heard on the world platform. That we should be proud of. A news coming in from the world of sports. The skateboarding, surfing and sports climbing have been added to the initial sports program of 28 sports for the 2028 Olympic Games, which are supposed to be held in Los Angeles. The IOC, that is International Olympic Committee, had said that these 3 sports first featured in the Olympics during the Tokyo Games and also inducted into 2024 Paris Olympics. Well, at the same time, weightlifting, boxing are currently excluded from the Olympics, and both sports will be reviewed in the 2023 for inclusion. Well, if it is found fit, boxing and weightlifting will be there, else they will be excluded from the Olympics. Good news again for India. The United Nations General Assembly has conferred the observer status to the International Solar Alliance. We should know this ISA, International Solar Alliance, which is looking after for this entire solar power, which the India talks as one grid. Well, there India has been given the status of a observer, and this was announced by the UN Ambassador T.S. Tirumurti. And we know that the ISA was jointly launched by India and France in 2015. A total of 101 nations have signed the ISA framework agreement. Yet another thing after the Twitter executive, now this time it is Indian origin Professor Neeli, who becomes the first woman president of the US Penn State University, and which is in basically Pennsylvania. And Miss Professor Neeli it will be the first woman president of the university, who is presently also the president of university in Louisville. And she has earned her bachelor's degree in English and master's in business, Masters of Business Administration from the Andhra University. She is married to Dr. Venkat Beddapudi. Well, again, a proud thing for Indians to be. This week, DRDO has again successfully tested the Pinaka Extended Range Multi-Barrel Rocket Launcher System at Rajasthan's Pokhran Ranges. This is called as Pinaka ER. This system is designed by the DRDO labs and the ARDE along with the Pune's HEMRL. Well, this system has been designed in the light of emerging requirements with advanced technology enhancing the ranges. We know that the Pinaka rockets have been upgraded. Now it is called as Pinaka ER. Well, we require them very urgently towards our northeastern sector as well as the western sector, and to be ready for the two-front war anytime. We all had discussed the growing COVID situation all along the country and the world. Now, Japanese researchers have developed a mask using the ostrich antibodies that glow under the ultraviolet light on detection of a COVID-19. Well, scientists have used ostrich antibodies on the basis of previous research, which showed that this bird has a strong resistance to this disease. And well, if they are presently working on a mask that would glow automatically if the virus is detected, and they don't require a special probably an ultraviolet light. Let's see how well this comes. If this can come, it will become a very low cost testing for the COVID. But India is not far behind. The Indian Council of Medical Research has developed test kits to detect the Omicron COVID-19 variant in just 2 hours. This was the ICMR researchers in Assam have developed this kit, and as of now, to detect the Omicron virus, we require minimum of 36 hours, and for a targeted sequence, we require about 4 to 5 days, and wherein for the whole genome sequence has to be detected. But in this case, it will just take about 2 hours. It's a really great achievement, and in case this gets successful, then a Kolkata-based company will produce it in a bulk. We will probably see it soon, maybe. And the final news coming in for this week is that ISRO has signed agreement with the phone company Oppo in bringing the NAVIC messaging service. We all know that NAVIC messaging service was basically the navigational services in India which have been launched by ISRO. As of now, it has not taken off well, but if you see the Google Earth can give you 10 meters resolution, whereas NAVIC can give you a 1 meter resolution, and it covers exclusively the Indian subcontinent. So maybe once with this, their understanding with Oppo, whenever you're doing a Google map search, probably NAVIC will give you a resolution of 1 meter. When you look at your picture of home from the Google Earth, it is blurred and probably you cannot zoom in after a particular point, but with NAVIC you can do it. So let's see how the ISRO and Oppo India will do the exchange of this technical information, and whatever it might be, it is a good thing for the country, and a new thing is coming in. Well, this is all I had for this week as updates. If you're again, I'll request you, if you're new to my channel, please subscribe to it and press that bell icon. And I'll be really happy to serve you like this with every Sunday with this kind of an updates. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye.